My name is James Williams Jr., and this is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. And now I'm going to switch gears and tell you about Marvel movies and things that they probably should have done and didn't do for such movies like X-Men First Class, because that's really the only one I ever really complain about, and maybe Daredevil, but I'm behind on the times because Daredevil seasons of Netflix is getting pretty good, being that they brought in the Punisher and everything. So you need to do your source material. So we're gonna start now. All right, one. I know you guys are tired of hearing me bitch about X-Men First Class, and no, I'm not bitching about X-Men First Class because I wasn't in it. Okay, I'm bitching about X-Men First Class because it wasn't the first class. That was pretty much the gist of it. If you've seen the last video, I was just mad because they didn't have the original 5 X-Men. They also, for some reason, in every X-Men movie, have never once mentioned the Shi'ar Empire. And that was a very important part of X-Men. If you're an X-Men fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about because the Shi'ar Empire, when Xavier got fucked up, when Colossus got fucked up, they were members of the Shi'ar Empire that did it. Colossus is organic steel. Nothing could fuck with him on Earth. But Deathbird stabbed that son bitch and killed him, damn near. If not killed him, she made him wish he was dead. So what did they do? Lilandra and them had got him into a reanimated machine. And therefore, they brought him back to life. Now, let me give you a little bit of a history of the Shi'ar Empire. Where the fuck do you think the Danger Room came from? It wasn't some shit from Tony Stark like he has for the Avengers and shit, but I'm pretty sure Tony Stark stole the idea from the X-Men. But he was an Avenger by himself first, and he had to take his own training ground, but his shit had nothing on the Danger Room. The Danger Room was designed by Xavier, Magneto, and Lilandra's technology from the Shi'ar Empire. Lots of people don't know that. There's lots of people who aren't as big X-Men fans. But as things have gotten expanded, because Avengers also have a Danger Room, and not just one, they have one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and they have one in outer space where they have like 60 some odd people on the team. In the whole clusterfuck of the 3 team of Avengers, there's a little more than 60 people there, I'm pretty sure. Now, same thing with the X-Men. In the 4 to 5 teams of the X-Men, there's a good amount of people on the team. I know Generation X for sure had 13 people before it was canceled. I know that the X-Men, X-Force, and X-Factor. X-Factor was the only team for sure that had between 5 and 7 people. Excalibur was the only other team besides X-Factor that had between 5 and 7 people. But X-Men, you had the red team and the gold team. The red and the blue team. Or was it the red and the gold team? Whatever teams you had at least 13 people on them. Because Storm had one team, and Cyclops had the other team. Alright? And about that time, most of the members of the X Factor came back to the X-Men. Which means Beast, Angel, Iceman, and Jean Grey came back, and they were on Storm's team sometimes, and sometimes they was on Cyclops' team. Where Colossus and all the other members of the X-Men came and stayed with that team. Now, to get things even more of a clusterfuck, the only people that didn't come back to the X-Men was Nightcrawler and Kitty Pryde, who stayed with Excalibur because they were the founding fucking members of it. They were the original founding members, and they took in Rachel and Captain Britain. And I don't know where the hell they found Megan at, but they brought her in too. Next thing you know, Kitty Pryde started recruiting other people, and then I think the manyest people who have been on Excalibur has been maybe 9. And I'm just like speculating that. Because I know that originally it started with 5, and then they brought in Cullen, and he brought in some people, and she brought in Lockheed and other people. And since when Illyana died, she left the power of the Soul Sword specifically to Kitty Pryde, who somehow or another the Soul Sword and Excalibur itself fused together, so only Kitty could wield it. It's a long story. You'll have to go back and read them, And if you want to go in the X-Men universe, technically you can count Alpha Flight as X-Men. They were the mutant versions in Canada. But they were more like Avengers. It just depends on how you want to look at it. And they should have got a movie too. Well, anyway, long and short, if you're going to make these movies, you need to go to the source material. And a lot of the X-Men movies were great, that they just didn't really do source material. You know, it's just like, I'm not complaining about any of them, including First Class. But what I'm saying is, you know, if you, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell people who watch all these comic book TV shows, because I watch all the comic book TV shows. I'm not gonna do any reports on them. I'm not gonna stray off into DC. So get that out of the way now. But if you are fans of these heroes that are on TV, and if you are fans of their comic books, I'm gonna be honest with you. None of the shows are for you. Some of them are for you, but none of them are for you if you're like so dedicated that you want it to be exactly like the comic. Then the shows are not for you. And I'm gonna leave it at that right there. Because I will tell you, when Generation X came to TV on Fox, many moons back in the 90s, because the comic book had just came out a year before the TV show, whatever. And again, my only complaint was Jubilee wasn't Chinese, but they did it right. They had Xavier's School of the Gifted, right? They moved it down to Massachusetts instead of being in New York, or moved it up to Massachusetts because Banshee and Emma Frost was running the team, and they were in love and all this other stuff. And then later, somewhere in Marvel headquarters, they decided that Cyclops is going to marry the White Queen. And I guess Banshee went back to Mary McTarget, and no one knows what in the hell happened to Xavier unless he went back into space to go with Lilandra. Anyway, the long and short is that, you know, if you're going to make these things, and their diehard fans out there worse than me, actually, you know, they're going to agree. They're going to put a big old check on my videos. Like, you are exactly right, James. They didn't make First Class with the First Class, and they should be ashamed. Agreed. They should be ashamed. But it's over and it's done. The movie did well. All right, and Age of Apocalypse is coming, so there's going to be a lot of people going broke this summer after Civil War and everything drops. You know, there are going to be a lot of people going broke for Phase 2 and Phase 3 when Marvel drops those things. So I will say that I'm waiting to see how in the hell is Black Panther supposed to be stronger than Cap. He's not a mutant, and his suit's made out of vibranium, so it shouldn't be anything like physically. He shouldn't be the strongest person out there. Should be Cap. You know, because Iron Man only has a suit. And okay, the strongest person out there should be Thor or Hawk. Now, back in the late 90s, Thor won the annual, like the weightlifting contest, because he's a god. You know, he's not gonna fucking lose. He's the strongest there is, and he's stronger than Hawk. But now they've dumbed him down so that he bleeds and that he can die. I'm like, yeah, that's not how it worked in the 90s. That's not how it worked until after that whole Onslaught thing and the switching of Scarlet Witch going ballistic because she lost their baby. I want to touch on that before I go any further. Scarlet Witch had a baby with an android, and she miscarried it. Okay, what's wrong with this picture? First and foremost, let's stop right there. If you are a Scarlet Witch fan and a Vision fan, then you would know that Scarlet Witch and Vision already had 2 kids. They had 2 twin boys back in like 86 or 87 or 88. Somewhere in the 80s, I can't be specific, but I have the comic downstairs somewhere. Scarlet Witch and Vision had 2 twin boys. So what made this kid special? If she already had 2 twin kids that were from an android, who, how the fuck does he have sperm to begin with? But hey, that's the comic book world for you. Clearly he has some sperm, and he got her knocked the fuck up. So I guess that makes the babies hybrid mutant androids. I don't really know how the hell that works out. I don't care. But I do know that she already had 2 babies. So I don't know where the hell they forgot that at. But her losing that one baby made her use a magic spell to fuck up all the mutants and everybody in the world. And having Onslaught running around fucking up mutants and everybody in the world didn't help. Because when Onslaught honestly pulled Bruce Banner out of the Hawk and cured him from that shit, I was fucked up and pissed off at the same time, because I didn't think that could ever be done to the Hawk. But it is what it is. And you notice that Onslaught only targeted heroes that were not mutants, and they were not naturally mutants. But he also went after villains too, so you know, he was fucking shit up. So in closing, you know, if you're going to make a video or you're going to make a movie about superheroes, stay as close to the source material as possible. because only idiots like me, who are full die-hard comic fans, are going to put videos like this up and tell you guys that that was like a dick move. You know, you really should have tried to keep it as close to the story as possible for the sake of the fans. Here's the thing: when you're making a movie about superheroes and trying to keep it in reality, reality sucks. We like our fantasy heroes to be fantastic and fantasy. Now, since I mentioned the word fantastic and fantasy in the same sentence, I liked that new Fantastic Four movie. I'm probably one in 100,000 people who really liked it. Now I'm going to tell you what I didn't like about it. This is going to piss you guys off because this is going to sound as racist as fucking hell. And it's meant to sound racist because it is a racist statement that's about to come out my mouth. Every now and again, and I've said this before on one of my other videos, Marvel has a tendency to flip the script. And that's not me saying that Marvel is giving people the finger. I'm just saying they're flipping the fucking script. So when they made the new Fantastic Four movie, and I don't know who approved it in Marvel or whatever, when they decided to make Johnny Storm black, hey, that was cool. But you guys should have made his sister black too. And you didn't do that. And I think that's probably why the movie really didn't sell as well, because they were supposed to be full blood brother and sister. And I think that was the connection that probably fucked it up for everybody. So again, if you're going to make a movie and you're going to change anything, try to keep the main story titles together the same. And always go to the source when you're making a movie. My name is James Williams Jr. I'm getting company and all my recordings have to stop now, because people around here don't know how to give you solitude, silence, and silence. Thank you for tuning in. If I have offended you, I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry. My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Epic 2. I salute you, and goodbye.